Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. George Camel, Ramsey personality, host of the Entree Leadership and Fine Print podcasts on the Ramsey Network, is my co-host. Today, we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create real, high-quality relationships. We're thankful you're here, America. Thanks for being with us. Open phones here as we talk about your life and your money. 888-825-5225. Rachel's in Miami to start this hour off. Hi, Rachel. How are you?
Hi, Dave. I'm doing all right. Thank you very much. How are you guys doing?
Better than we deserve. What's up in your world?
Well, I'm going through a bit of a hard time where I'm stepping into a role of a caregiver for my parent that has Alzheimer's. And, yeah, we've been working through the steps up until then. Thankfully, we got our cars paid off and any other debt out the way, but we still have $40,000 in student loans that we've been making aggressive payments towards. And just with the Alzheimer's situation, there's going to be about $8,000 between medical and legal bills coming up. So we want to know whether we should put a pause and just aggressively save for that, like go into, I guess, emergency mode, or how should we kind of address that, like try to gradually save up for that?
Wow.
Yeah.
So who's got Alzheimer's?
My mother.
I'm sorry. Where's your dad?
Yeah. He's not involved because in this she doesn't want him around ever since.
She has Alzheimer's.
Yes.
She doesn't get a vote.
Yeah.
Where's your dad?
Yeah, he's also very emotionally unstable, so he never makes the situation better, and
so they're still together, but their relationship is bad.
They're legally together, but they're not living together.
They don't live together.
Correct.
Oh, okay. Do either one of them have any money?
No, unfortunately, they've made a series of bad decisions, which led me to being aggressive with taking control of my and my husband's finances and getting things in order. Both of us getting on the same page with your plan.
Wow, kiddo. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
How old is your mom?
She's 65. Young.
So this is pretty advanced.
Yeah.
Have you had, so what is the legal and medical bills that you are responsible for?
So we're moving into guardianship because she didn't even have anything legally in place for power of attorney. And throughout the years, it wasn't so clear what was causing it. Now is when we're really getting a good. And
now she's no longer capable of granting that, so you're having to ask the court to give it to you.
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
And overall, aside from that, she is okay in that she has some savings, but we obviously can't access that to pay off the bills, and we're
how much savings does she have? How much savings does she have?
She has about $15,000 in savings.
Okay. Well, you need to access that simultaneously with getting the guardianship.
Yeah. And
if you're appointed conservator and power of attorney, you access that money instantaneously.
Yeah. They said that once that comes through, we'll be able to be reimbursed for the legal fees. But before then, we don't want to put any legal fees on credit card. We want to be able to have the cash to go paying it in the moment. So right now, up front...
Okay, wait a minute. Let's stop a second, okay? What I just said was, when you are given the guardianship and you're given the power of attorney by the courts, you shouldn't have major legal fees due in advance of that happening.
Yeah.
You got an attorney asking you for $8,000 up front to go get this work done?
Well, it's not exactly. They just stated that it would be an estimate of that amount.
After they get it through. But, I mean, they can bill you and you pay them after this court case.
Yeah.
So you can use your mom to pay mom's money to pay her attorney. It's her attorney, by the way.
Yeah.
It's her bill.
So ask them to pretty much bill it, and then it's paid after the case is going
Well,
through.
I mean, you may have to put up a couple grand or something up front as a retainer, but putting up $8,000 up front to get a conservatorship or a guardianship pass through is kind of asinine. That you need a new lawyer.
Well, you're right on that. They've only what they've asked for is $3,000 as a retainer at the moment.
Okay, that's not unreasonable. Okay.
Okay.
So, what is your household income?
Right now we are at $100,000 a year.
Okay. And if you stop taking care, you're going to have to stop working to take care of her. Is that the idea?
Yeah, and once we do that, we'll be at $60,000.
Okay. All right.
Can you guys pay the bills on $60,000?
Yeah, we can. We purchased a townhome beforehand, so we only have about it's about $16,000 in the mortgage with insurance and taxes. Mm-hmm. So it's reasonable, and we did it prior to me working. We were able to pay it just fine.
Mm. And then, what does long-term care look like for her, financially and physically?
That's kind of the concern. Well, financially, the care for her should be covered because she does have good medical insurance, and it's covered a lot beforehand. I think it's going to be more so, probably more of an expense as far as like food that we'll be providing for her now. And
there's no long-term care insurance. You don't have nursing home insurance.
Nursing, no, she doesn't have that.
Okay, but just the medical bills.
Yeah.
You got those. She's got those covered.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Well, here's the thing. There's no good. This is a horrible situation. It's a tragedy.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
And you're a sweet person for taking this on and loving your mother well. All right. But there's hard choices are going to be made. Okay. Hard choice number one, you've already resigned yourself to, and that is you're going to lower your household income and at a minimum slow your personal financial progress in order to take care of your mom.
Yeah.
That's what you're telling me, right?
Yeah. That's
okay.
correct. Yeah.
What I'm going to add to the conversation, while I know your heart is breaking and I love you and I want you to win, is there's also a reality at the end of this story that may be her in a nursing home and you're back to work.
Yeah.
It might not be the end of the story is her passing at your house. She may pass in a nursing home. Because you may reach the point that your family is going to require your income again. Let me give you an example, okay? If this goes on 2 or 3 years, it's not a big deal. You can probably make that. It's not going to set you back for decades. This goes on 15 years, you can't do this.
Yeah.
It's not sustainable for you emotionally, for your family. It's not sustainable for you financially. You're going to end up getting her some nursing home care on Medicaid because she's broke and she qualifies for Medicaid. And so, but on the short term, yeah, bring her home and quit work for a little while and let's see how this goes. And then if that slows down that snowball, it just does. I'm so sorry.
It's so tough.
Always have a health care power of attorney. Always have long-term care insurance. These two things would have solved a whole lot right here. Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career. it's officially event week. Las Vegas, I hope you're ready. We're on our way, baby. We're doing Building Wealth this coming Thursday night, a live event. There are still some tickets available. The George Camel, the Rachel Cruz, and Dave Ramsey will be doing the event, along with the Dr. John Deloney and the Ken Coleman. And they'll be signing books and taking pictures. I will be doing some of that as well. And we'll be doing a couple-hour live event there in Las Vegas about the true aspects of building wealth, the proven process of financial principles that work. And we'll discuss some of the, shall we call them modern distractions?
Oh, I like that. I was going to say schemes, traps, trends, but I like modern distractions too.
Yeah, things that would distract you from doing smart things.
There is an endless amount of those. There's only a few simple ways to actually build wealth.
They're called get rich quick, easy. And, one of the things, and I'll talk about this Thursday night, that I just love that these all share in common. The person who's espousing them always has an air of condescension. That if you do not believe in their get-rich-quick scheme, then you're just one of the little people. Or you're just, in my case, I'm a boomer. I'm too old to actually understand how Bitcoin works. My intellect cannot grasp it because of my age, my advanced years. Yeah,
that's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, it's humorous that when you're 24, you can have that much arrogance. Oh, wait a minute, I did. So, well, there you go.
Yeah.
And I did. It's exactly how I went broke. I would have argued with you until the cows come home, as my grandmother would say, and how right I was and how wrong I turned out to be. So, on a get-rich-quick, nothing-down real estate scheme, scam, whatever you want to call it.
And it's still around to this day. A lot of people saying leveraging debt is the way to build wealth.
Yeah,
and speculative trading is the way to build wealth. Oh, it's exhausting.
We'll be talking about all that Thursday evening, and again in 2 weeks on Thursday the 19th in Orlando. And so 5 of us Ramsey personalities will be there, Rachel and George and I on the money side. Dr. Deloney with his #1 best-selling book, be there signing it, Own Your Past, Change Your Future. He'll have some comments about the current state of affairs and anxiety. Ken Coleman about the world that we live in with hiring and careers right now. We'll be doing all of that in Las Vegas on Thursday. Tickets are a whole $25 each. You can get a 4-pack for $60. So bring up, like 4 of you, get your buddies, go out to dinner, then come over, hang out. They're going to be doing some labs and some pre-sessions and some post-sessions and everything else. And we'll be there just working our little tail ends off, helping you guys. And for $60 for 4 people, I mean, you can even buy a pizza for that.
That's not one ticket to a concert with Ticketmaster. That's fees on Ticketmaster alone.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So go to RamseySolutions.com/events to get your tickets right now. And make sure you get all signed up for that. Annie is with... Wait a minute, Ann, before we go to Ann, George, you can listen to this show for multiple reasons. You can listen to the show for the entertainment value because human beings are on here, and sometimes they're laughingly entertaining, sometimes they're very sad and entertaining, but the just life happening on the radio, caller after caller. That used to be what we called the show years ago, but it is. You can listen to the show for the academic underpinnings, and in other words, the actual tactical things you learn to do. But you can also listen to the show for life lessons, mentorship, and you can even have sometimes an anti-mentor. Like, whatever that person did, I want to do the exact opposite. So here's the thing. Poor young lady that just called a minute ago, she's taking care of her mom. Just sweet. But here's the thing. For the rest of you out there, your job as a grown-up is to not leave your kids in that position. Now, that sounds harsh or mean. I'm not being mad at her mom who's got Alzheimer's. I'm not. But this is just a concept. The concept is you should have a will. Get your stinking will done now. And it should include a healthcare power of attorney, which means that if you have early onset Alzheimer's or dementia and you lose the ability to, you lose your faculties to legally make decisions, then your person who has the power of attorney can use your money then to take care of you. They don't have to go pay $8,000 to a lawyer to get a judge to say you can do that, because a $15 piece of paper would have done that. MamaBearLegalForms.com. Hello. Get your will done. It's a 2-page document. A healthcare power of attorney goes with all your wills. And I'm yelling at you people that have not done yours, because 78% of Americans don't have a will, and you need your butts kicked, because you're going to leave sweet Rachel in the lurch, and you got $15,000 to your name and $8,000 to go if it's going to a lawyer, and it didn't have to. All you had to do was take care of business.
Are they scared they're going to die earlier if they get a will?
I don't know. There's a lot of reasons people don't have wills. One of them is, I'm afraid I'm going to die if I get a will. Well, doofus, you're going to die. Nobody gets out alive, okay? Wills do not increase the probability of your death. It's already there. Hello. So, oh my gosh.
And on top of that, long-term care insurance. This is something we talk about on
Once you're 60 years old, you need long-term care insurance. And on top of that, hello. You don't have to worry about that at all if you had been investing and saving and stayed out of debt. And you had, at 65 years old, more than $15,000 to your name. And again, I don't want you to misunderstand. I'm being harsh on that poor lady and that poor daughter in that situation. My heart goes out to them. But if you're 35 years old and you're like, Dave Ramsey and George Camel, listen, you need to get your crap together, because your children are going to bear the brunt of your misbehavior and your irresponsibility. The thing you don't want to be when you're old is a burden.
We talk about leaving a legacy on the show, and being a burden is about the exact opposite you can be to your family. That's not how you want to go.
Yeah. And so it is... It's your job to put the basic paperwork in place. Long-term care insurance, life insurance. You've got, your will and your healthcare power of attorney, and you've got, and everybody knows what's going on, and you save some money. Well, I had a hard life. I understand. So have I. I mean, a lot of people have had a hard life. I meet people every day that have had a hard life, and then they chose to own their past and change their future, as Dr. Deloney says. So I do not, some of you are going to get all twisted up because you got your little panties in the water about everything anyway, and just go ahead and jump on Twitter or Reddit or wherever you go to voice your crap. But go ahead and do that. But because you think I'm picking on that particular lady and that particular young lady that's taking care of her mom. Both of them are sweet, but I'm not mad at either one of them. But this idea that you can walk around out there after hearing that call and not go fix this stuff right now, you ought to have your butt kicked. I mean, really, that ought to be your inspiration. When I'm old, I don't want to be working at McDonald's unless it's the one I own in St. Thomas, okay? I mean, seriously. Don't want to be working at McDonald's, period. But anyway, you see my point.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to be, if you want to be a greeter at Walmart, bless you, thank you. But this is not my retirement goal. Hello.
Get this stuff in order. You can do it over a lunch break. People think this is it's too much time. I don't want to deal with this. I get
$100 a month invested from age 25 to age 65 in a decent growth stock mutual fund in your Roth 401k without a match.
Dave, that's not sophisticated enough.
$100 a month is over $1 million if you do it from 25 to 65. It's just
simple.
Do it. My goodness gracious. You've got to get out of the consumption mode and out of the get-rich-quick mode, and quit looking down your nose and just go do the basic stuff of life. You owe it. It's how you say I love you to your family. Just imagine how much different Rachel's world would be right now if there wasn't $15,000 in her mom's account. But instead, there was a healthcare power of attorney, and there was $250,000 sitting in a 401k. Oh, she doesn't have to quit work now.
It's a peaceful place to be.
Well, there we go. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we talk about your life and your money. Bradford and Emmy are with us. They are in Salt Lake City, and it says on my screen you guys are debt-free. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Way to go. How much debt have you paid off?
$252,000.
Wow.
We're super excited.
How long did this take?
Took us about 4 years.
And your range of income during that time?
Well, when we first started, it was about $90,000, and then till now is about $150,000.
Cool. What do y'all do for a living?
So I am a hairstylist. So I work in a salon.
Mm-hmm.
And I am a funeral director.
Cool. All right. And what kind of debt was this?
It was our house.
All right.
Yeah.
How old are you guys?
Well, I'm 32.
And I'm 34.
Man, I'm talking to weird people.
I know we are weird people to our friends. That is
love
true.
It. You are weird people. I love it. What's this house worth?
I think it's about $750,000 now.
Whoa. Ding, ding.
I love it.
Yeah.
Way to go, you guys. All right, how much have you got in your retirement investing?
We're probably around $200,000 to $250,000 as well.
So that makes you baby steps millionaires.
Yeah, almost.
We're trying.
Well, I mean, $750,000 and $250,000 is $1 million where I come from. Okay, so I think look at you, and you said you're 32?
Yeah, I'm 35.
32 and 35. My goodness gracious. Okay, so tell us a story. What happened 4 years ago at 28 and 31 that made you guys decide, hey, we're paying off the house?
Well, I think it's safe to say that I'm a Dave Ramsey super fan. And so since the beginning, we've always worked your baby steps. About 4 years ago, we found this house and bought it using your principles to make sure that we had as much down as we could.
How much did you put down?
It out. Sorry, say that again?
How much did you put down?
We put about $100,000 down.
At 24, 28 years old. 28 and 31 years old, yeah.
Yes. Wow. Yes, sir.
Man, that's impressive.
Like I said, super fan for sure.
He's a super fan. This is like the best day of his life calling today.
Well, it's not a bad day for George and me. We can just tell you, we like people like you guys.
You guys are incredible.
Well, thank you.
So you guys, you pre-decided that you were going to pay this house off really fast.
Absolutely. And just worked extra and threw everything we could at it.
Wow. George, is this your cousin?
It must be. And they sound a lot like me. These are the kind of friends I need.
Yeah, George is 32. George is 32. He just paid off his house, and he's a millionaire. So, there we go.
This is how it goes. So what inspired you guys? I mean, obviously you've been a Ramsey fan for a while, but what made you go, hey, what if we had a paid-for house in our early 30s? What would that be like?
Well, we're really interested in traveling, and the funnest thing we've ever done with our money has been able to give it and share it with others, and we just want to be able to do more of that.
Wow. So you use that as your fuel in this journey of, man, we want to give more, we want to have more amazing experiences, and to do that, maybe not having a mortgage payment would help.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
So how long ago did you start doing our stuff, Bradford?
I would say about 10 years ago. I listened to you on our local radio, I bought the book. I bought the financial piece packet that had the book, the workbook, and all that. And I'd listened to you as much as I could and worked it out and kept Emmy on board, and we just kept rocking and rolling.
So did you guys have debt previous to the mortgage that you paid off, or did you just kind of stay debt-free?
We just kind of stayed debt-free. We did have debts before, like we had some car payments, and that's probably pretty much it. And then we just paid those off. But yeah, we've tried to live debt-free.
Since you've been married?
Yeah, well, we've been married for 10 years, and when we very first got married is when we jumped on board, and we started our marriage off by selling Emmy's really nice car, and we never looked back since then.
Wow. But this is what it looks like.
Now Emmy's a 32-year-old millionaire, so it worked out good.
It worked out pretty good. Now I can drive
anything you want.
Drive whatever I want. So
right. Drive like no one else. Later, you can drive like no one else. I'm so proud of you guys. You're amazing. Very well done.
Yeah, we're excited.
Okay, you've been working this really for 10 years, the last 4 years paying off the house, been living smart, wisely. Have you had a life while you were doing all this, or did you just live in a cave and collect lint and triple coupons?
Right. We actually did have a life. We decided, because I'm the spender in the family, and so I told him, like, we can't live, like, with doing nothing.
Agreed.
And so we decided to do at least one vacation each year.
Good.
And so that was something that we got to look forward to and, plan towards. But, so yeah, that was kind of our motivation to keep us, have something to do fun, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're looking at the YouTube pictures they're flashing on the monitor. Looks like you got 3 babies during that 10 years.
Yeah, we do have 3 babies.
It's awesome.
Our greatest accomplishment.
Amen. Amen. Now, the greatest accomplishment will be when they have babies. Those are called grandbabies. Those are the best things on the planet. Okay.
That's true.
Right.
I've heard that.
Well done, you guys. I'm so proud of you. It's amazing.
Thank you.
What do you tell people?
Thank you, Dave.
What do you tell
It's
people?
It's been an honor to talk to you and work your plan and actually get a visit with you. It's a pretty cool accomplishment.
Well, we're proud of you. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
Just stay the course. Of course, everyone says to do a budget, and that definitely helps. And just keep with it, keep motivated, listen to the show, or do whatever it is that motivates you, and stick with it. It seems like a huge mountain to climb, but you take it step by step, you follow the baby steps, and before you know it, you're on top going, look at what we can do now.
Yeah.
Unstoppable.
That's just absolutely incredible, you guys. Very well done. Well, we've got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That is the next chapter in your story for sure. Also a copy of Total Money Makeover for you to give away. I'm sure you've told a few people about this during this decade-long journey, but thank you for that. We appreciate you spreading the word for us, letting other people know this can be done. You're proof positive. You're a wonderful case study of what it looks like if you start this stuff, and particularly if you start it early.
Yeah. And it's a 10-year journey, and now they're millionaires, just like that.
Who was your biggest cheerleaders, guys?
I would definitely say each other. We kept each other accountable. We had some good friends, and we had some friends that told us we couldn't do it, and I think that was a great motivator as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, you got to have friends like the second bunch. The ones that don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, I like it. Those are good ones.
They're so dumb, they don't know.
The haters are like free gasoline in the tank.
It is.
That's great.
So it's kind of nice to be able to
say thank you.
We can.
And these days, free gas is a big deal.
That's amazing.
For real.
I'll take it.
All right, guys. Well done, well done, well done. Bradford and Emmy from Salt Lake City, Utah. $252,000 paid off. That's their house and everything. They did that in 4 years. At 32 and 35, they have a $750,000 paid for home, $250,000 already in their retirement plans, making them early, young baby step millionaires. I'm so proud of you guys. Woo! Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Yeah! Man, oh man, oh man.
If we could just multiply people like Bradford and Emmy across the nation, we could, make the government irrelevant.
Yeah, we really could. Here's what's interesting. Okay, Americans last year spent $70 billion on Christmas decorations. Now, I'm not against Christmas decorations, and I'm not against Christmas. Papa Dave be liking some Christmas lights, all right? But here's the thing. If you had a whole community full of Bradford and Emmys, they could put up Christmas lights and just a handful of them come together and build a hospital. Another handful of them come together and feed every hungry child in the city. And another handful of them come together and there'd be nobody in foster care that needed a forever home because they pay all the adoption expenses. It wouldn't take but about a 6 or an 8% shift in giving to completely clean up a whole lot of the social ills that we have in America.
Yeah.
We the people, taking care of we the people, when they act like those two. Be impressive.
That's a vision right there.
This is The Ramsey Show. Personality is my co-host today. Ann is with us in Oklahoma City. Hi, Ann. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Thank you for all you do.
Well, thank you. How can we help today?
Yeah, I want to give you a scenario, and my question will be, how should I best spend almost $200,000 in inheritance that I'm about to receive and best help my retirement and not be a burden to my children one day and also be able to retire well? Here's my scenario. I'll soon be 60 years old. I was divorced in early 2021 after many years of marriage. My net worth is approximately $600,000, excluding the $200,000 inheritance. I have no debt. Out of that 600, only about 34 of that is in retirement savings account. The rest is in rental properties and a small business that I own. I have a fully funded emergency fund. My yearly bring home pay is approximately $96,000. $5,000 of that comes from the business each month, and $3,100 comes from part of my teacher's retirement and rental property income. I've been renting for a little over 2 years, and I've never had my own home. I would love to have a condo or a small home. And I was wondering, with the inheritance money, should I try to buy a small condo or home with cash, and if there's anything left over, invested in mutual funds? Or should I forego buying and just put all of that $200 in mutual funds and let it grow? Interest and all. My concern there is if prices keep rising, will I ever be able to afford my own little place? Or do you have a different scenario you might recommend?
Well, you are really on top of this. You have done a great job of knowing where you are, and that tells me you really have probably a pretty good plan of where you're going. How much longer do you plan to work?
Well, at least till probably 65. I mean, I would love to retire at 65, but I don't know if that's realistic. 65, 67 is possible. I'm
what kind of business do you own?
It's a little clothing business, boutique.
Okay, all right.
Is it brick and mortar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as long as it remains viable, I'd probably continue to run it as long as you want to. And what I would do is begin to get more and more management involved so you have more and more time off as you go past 67. But there's no reason it can't continue to produce an income for you up into your 70s.
Okay.
You could sell it at some point if you wanted to just quit. But my guess is what you're doing is not that physically straining, and you don't sound like you're stressed out by it.
No.
Okay.
No.
So I think I'm going to continue to operate as long as I can. There's no rule that says you have to quit working. at any point,
Right.
especially if you enjoy what you're doing. And I got a feeling with all you've been through that it probably is a bit of an escape area, an area you can go that you can control the variables, a safe place.
Yes, it's a wonderful place.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful to be there.
Yeah, amen.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I like your idea of buying something small and putting the rest in mutual funds, buying something that you can live in for cash and not having any payments. And
Okay.
Are any of these rental properties a nuisance to you? Would you ever want to get rid of one?
No, actually, they cash flow each month. I mean, that's basically how I'm living. I'm trying to keep my personal income separate from my business income. And so, no, I don't want to get rid of them right now.
good.
I'm sorry. I'm a little nervous. What was your question?
No, that was it.
I just wanted to know about the rental properties, just see what the options are. But I'm with Dave. I'm trying to find somewhere like I can pay with cash, and that's going to reduce your expenses, which means you can live off a whole lot less, even in your retirement.
Yeah.
So that's the goal.
And invest what would have been a rental payment or a house payment. Now, here's the reason to do that. Okay, when you buy a piece of property with 100% down, obviously in this case, for your retirement years, you're 60. Mathematically, there's a very high likelihood you live until 90.
Right.
Average death age of a female in America is 76, but that includes infant mortality and teenage death. And so once you're a healthy 60-year-old, 90 is a high probability, statistically speaking, okay? Now, obviously none of us ever know exactly. We don't get to decide all that. But anyway, so now if that means you got 30 years from today, give or take, that you are going to pay increased rent payments every year for 30 years. It's going to go up every year. Or you're going to take your largest expense item in your budget, which is housing, and make it stabilize or go away.
Right.
And the asset is going up in value. So you stabilize the largest payment you have. In your case, you're going to make it at zero. But even if you took out a house payment, in your case, you would stabilize and at least, you'd have the same payment throughout the rest of your life.
Right.
And versus rent going up every year. And the house is going up in value every year. So that's two major reasons. But it adds a huge level of peace and stability to be a homeowner as you head into retirement, particularly if the home's paid for. So I'm all in with you spending the vast majority of this $200 to do that and putting the rest in mutual funds, then commit what was your old rent payment out of your income, at least, if not more, into additional investing ongoing, and let's build that nest egg up.
Yeah, I love this plan. And if you have tax-advantaged retirement accounts, you can do that with. I know she's a small business owner, so she
Lots
may
of stuff she can
have
do.
some self-employed, solo 401k or SEP IRAs and things of that nature.
Yeah, you can do SEP IRAs, you can do solo 401s, that's exactly right, and do a Roth, and do all of it and put it all in mutual funds and just see how rich you can become in the next 10 years. I'll bet you could have $1.5 million in 10 years in mutual funds. I'll bet you could get there without a single house payment in the world making $100,000 a year. I'll bet you it could be done and have a decent life while you're doing it.
And those rentals will go up in value over time as well.
And those rents coming to you, not going to someone else.
I like this plan.
This is going up. So just like your investments go up, that is an investment. And those rental values will go up as well. Connor is with us. Connor is in Pittsburgh. Hi, Connor. How are you?
I'm good, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
All right. So my question is kind of a long-term question about bridge investing. So my situation is I just turned 26. I make $50,000 a year. I have $30,000 in a brokerage account, $20,000 in Roth IRAs and 401k. I have a house that is valued at $250,000. I owe $127,000 on it.
You don't need to worry about bridge money right now.
Well, so the reason I'm asking that is I had a conversation with my mom, and she is deciding that she's going to pay the house off for me. Within the next year or so.
That helps.
And so I wanted to know, my family's done well in real estate, grandparents and parents and such. And so I've kind of always leaned that way, but I have cerebral palsy. And I've seen just it takes a lot physically to care for a bunch of rental properties.
No, it doesn't if you hire somebody to do it.
Yeah, so that was part of my question was, would you just hire a management company, or is there some other way you would do it?
Yeah, but you got to ride herd on them, but that's an intellectual process, not a lifting a hammer or concrete block process. So
right,
you have to watch them and make sure they don't charge you $800 for a water heater that should have been $400. Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, I can definitely handle that.
And make sure that they're actually paying attention when the house is empty and getting it filled back up. Is there a sign in the yard? Are they keeping the grass cut, the bushes trimmed so that the house is marketable when it turns over? So you got to watch your property still, but you don't have to do the physical lifting and the day-to-day negotiating and dealing with tenants. You'll be just fine with that. So if you're saving up to buy some rentals for cash, I'll be fine with that after Mom pays off your house. That'd be pretty cool. Put you in a really good situation.
Way to go, Mom. That's really cool.
Yeah, but that does not mean you need to do bridge investing exclusively. You need to do all you can put into retirement, and you'll still, without a house payment, have room to do some bridge investing that you can turn into some paid-for real estate. So, very cool. Good question and good clarification. Thanks. This is The Ramsey Show.
Do you love a good Dave Rant? Want to see the latest Ramsey Show videos going viral? Check out your favorite moments from The Ramsey Show on YouTube. Go watch and subscribe to The Ramsey Show channel on YouTube.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people to build wealth, do work that they love, and have amazing, actual relationships. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. This is a show all about you. And George, you know what happens if you walk the baby steps?
You become a millionaire?
Yeah. And you know what's worse?
Oh, boy. What could be worse than that?
Well, you became a millionaire, which, by definition,
makes you a terrible person.
You're a terrible person. Rich people are evil. Greedy, rich people
I read that on Twitter
evil.
Recently.
Greedy, rich people are evil, and they're everywhere. And we're trying to make more of them. That's our problem. We're awful. We want you to be not greedy, but we do want you to be rich people. And outrageously generous rich people. But the greedy rich people are everywhere, and they're out there doing greedy rich people stuff, and they're giving greedy rich people a bad name when they do this. Because, I mean, how can you say, let's triple the tax rate on the rich because they don't do anything except consume? The only way they get their money is to inherit it. We have to tell lots of lies about the rich. We have to vilify success in order to make socialism the way to go in America. It's what we've been working on for a while now. And this whole greedy rich people syndrome, it's just spreading. And
like
our producer handed us this. Apparently, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis?
I think it's Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. I think.
Mila Kunis.
Am I right, James?
Mila
okay.
Kunis.
James is hip. He knows pop culture.
I don't. I know who Ashton Kutcher was because he punked some people once. But other than that, I don't know.
What a great
anything.
reference.
But
I'm glad you know that.
The problem they've done now is apparently Mila is from the Ukraine, and these guys, these gritty rich people, they went and raised over $34 million to help humanitarian aid in the Ukraine, temporary housing for the refugees, according to the couple's GoFundMe page. Kunis was born in Ukraine in 1983, moved to the United States when she was 8 years old. She says Ukrainians are proud and brave people who deserve our help in their time of need. And so these greedy rich people, she and Ashton, they got together with some other greedy rich people and made a bunch of donations.
The nerve.
I can't believe they helped people with their money. That's awful. You're giving a bad name to the greedy rich people. So Mila and Ashton created the fundraising page March 3rd, made a personal donation. See here, they and then they told people they did it. So they're just awful. They $3 million they put in of their own money. Then more than 65,000 donors have contributed to the campaign. The list of top contributors includes some of the world's greediest, wealthiest individuals. Billionaire Larry Ellison, the chairman of Oracle, he donated $5 million because he's a greedy rich guy. Silicon Valley private equity firm DST Global, greedy rich people, they contributed $3 million. And the family foundation of DST partner Yuri Milner gave another $2.5 million. So that's like, man, that's like $5.5 million from the DST group alone. But they're all greedy rich people. We know about that. Another $2.5 million donation came from the family of renowned Silicon Valley angel investor Ron Conway. Fashion model, is it Carly Kloss?
I think it's close.
Close.
I think.
Thank you. Well,
I'm not that hip. I'm 1 degree hipper than you.
She's a fashion model, which is two things I don't know anything about, fashion or models. So Josh Kushner donated $250,000 through his foundation. He's a venture capitalist, another one of those greedy rich people. And so we're overwhelmed with gratitude for this support from the greedy rich people, said Ashton Kutcher. He didn't say that last part, I added it. And in an Instagram post on March 17th, our collective greedy rich people effort will provide a softer landing for many people as they forge ahead to their future of uncertainty. Humanitarian aid, temporary housing for Ukrainian refugees, brought to you by greedy rich people.
Wow. And I'm on the site now. I'm looking at the GoFundMe. They're up to over $36 million with over almost 76,000 donations.
Be precisely more than $36 million more than the U.S. government has given.
Oh, yeah.
To help Ukrainian refugees. Exactly, to the penny. And so your tax dollars, wait, not at work. Okay, there we go. Okay. And instead, private individuals who have wealth, were outrageously generous. I mean, they were greedy rich people. And took care of people in another part of the world that they don't even know, that they never even met, that they just thought, these people need humanitarian aid, they need temporary housing. The largest refugee crisis in the history of mankind, by the way. Mm. More people displaced than in any other refugee crisis ever in history.
Wow.
You haven't heard that on the news. Those are actual numbers. I didn't make that up. And pretty incredible. And we're all just, but the greedy rich people, they're doing something about it.
It's disgusting and inspiring.
Did the broke people send money?
It doesn't say.
Is there a broke people page?
I don't think that's on here. But I guess if
there's
got
a broke
$1,
people GoFundMe
donate
page, yeah.
You can donate as little as $5.
You can put the change out of every dollar that you don't use. And so you could send a nickel or 7 cents or, that kind of stuff. And I'm sure it'll change their life. But the greedy rich people dropped in $36 million. So
they went first.
Just wanted you to know that those people are out there and they're horrible. And we don't endorse that kind of generosity because it gives greedy rich people a bad name.
We're here to make them look good, not bad.
Do you recognize the sarcasm font in my voice?
I hope so, although some people listening may not understand it.
Well, hang around. You'll get it after a while.
Well, it's very cool. I'm excited about this.
Well, James came up with this idea, our producer. He said every so often we should just feature some of the horrible things that the greedy rich people are doing.
It's important to shine a light on it.
So they should be exposed. They should be exposed for what they do. They're just awful. It's horrible that human beings could be kind to each other and use dollars to do it.
It's disgusting.
After having earned a living in capitalism in the greatest land that the world has ever known, called America. And these people have made money. More money than they've ever dreamed of, and they gave away more money than most of you ever dreamed of in this one transaction. But they're greedy rich people, and they should pay their fair share of taxes.
Well, they're probably doing this for tax evasion purposes, Dave.
It's tax evasion.
That's what
right.
It is.
Because, of course, if you give away $2 million, it saves you $300,000 on your taxes.
That's how that works.
Taxes.
Good math.
Maybe less, depending on your situation, because when you're a greedy rich person with a huge income like that, the amount of your charitable deductions that you can deduct goes down on a scale to where at some point you get almost no tax deduction for your charitable contributions. So, of course, that's mathematically how tax evasion works.
We're not doing math here, Dave. I'm just here to get riled up.
We want to let you know that greedy rich people, they don't pay any taxes either.
You've cleared the air, for sure.
Not at all. Because people are still confused which is sarcasm and which isn't. But, oh, well, we'll get there eventually.
Turn off the sarcasm font, Dave.
So, Mila, I'm sorry, darling, I don't know your name. And Ashton, we salute you. We salute all of your friends. And we salute your generosity. Thank you for giving gritty rich people a bad name. This is The Ramsey Show.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs. We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org/budget.
We absolutely believe in it.
George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Garrett is in Phoenix, Arizona. Hi, Garrett. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. How you doing today?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I was calling in because I was just laid off on Thursday. I'm in the mortgage industry.
What happened?
I'm 22 years old. Yeah, good question. My whole department was let go, so a little over 100 of us.
So they're not doing enough mortgages?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so we do direct to consumer, and they're just refis are off the market.
Yeah, refis are gone because the rates are up, and people have slowed down the refis, and the purchases have slowed down because people can't get houses. There's no inventory, right?
Exactly. Yep, exactly.
So they laid 100 people off. What were you doing in the mortgage business?
I ran a processing team.
You were a processor, okay?
Operation. Yep.
Okay.
So where I'm at is, thanks to you guys, my dad as well. I never had debt really. I got about a year of reserves set aside. So I don't have that stress. I'm working on getting back into the workplace, interviewing, applying. But for the last few months, I've been working on starting my own processing company, a contract processing firm. I'm pretty dang close. I have my test in a couple of days to get my license for that.
So you saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah, I've been preparing since about November. I stopped investing everything and just started pocketing money away in my 6-month reserve account and just loaded it up since I had a feeling things were going to start turning.
Okay. If they laid off 100 people because there's no mortgages to process, how are you going to make money running a contract processing firm?
Well, and so that's part of I have 2 contracts already with brokers that I've worked with in the past that are ready to execute on those contracts at 15 loans a month for both of them, so 30 loans right out the gate, which would then replace my salary and money pretty much instantaneously. I guess my real question is, so should I still kind of go that route since I have the money to do so, and the security's there? I mean, I don't have that concern necessarily. Or should I just be trying to get back into the corporate side and keep interviewing, apply, get a job there, and then kind of postpone this plan until things kind of simmer down maybe a bit? I guess I'm just trying to clarify or figure out, should I take this self-employed style role or go back into corporate America?
Sounds like you got enough of the pipeline self-employed to make it sweet. What's wrong with it?
I would say the biggest thing is my wife and I just had a baby in December, and the fear is more there. So she just stopped working 2 weeks ago, ironically.
But you have enough to replace your salary in the pipeline.
Correct. So my big concern is that as things continue to, I guess, be unsteady in a way, with inventory and there were rates, my fear is that these sales teams are not going to be producing the same they were. They're confident and they're telling me they're good.
Yeah.
But
could you go get more contracts Can you go get more contracts other than these two?
Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm working on. But the problem with that currently is I need to get licensed and actually operational first, which I have the test tomorrow. So that'll be happening in the next couple of days, obviously. So
how quickly could you be running this business and producing an income?
6 weeks or less.
Okay. I mean, it sounds like there's some fear that this may not work, and so if you want to do something, part-time for now, just to make sure that you've got the income there, but you said you have a year of reserves. So you've got a year emergency fund sitting there?
Yeah, I got $39,000 sitting in a reserve account.
And you've got no debt. And so I feel like your risk is pretty low.
My house. Yeah, so, we live on about $2,700 a month. I have my mortgage on a 15-year and got my payment to about $1,200. So got a low mortgage payment, low housing costs in general.
How old are you?
Sold one car. 22.
22?
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Okay. I thought I was talking to a 32-year-old. Way to go, dude. You're poised.
Sharp young guy.
You carry yourself well. All right. Can I just tell you what I think I'm hearing, and then you tell me if I'm wrong? Okay?
Yes, sir.
I think I'm hearing, this is why I asked how old you were, by the way. I think I'm hearing that you are making the mistake that a corporate job is secure and self-employment is not.
100%. I would agree with that.
That is a mistake. You've just discovered last Thursday that corporate is not safe.
No, you're 100% right. You're 100% right.
As a matter of fact, it is less safe than self-employed, because self-employed is you have to get up, my man, leave the cave, kill something, and drag it home every day. You're under no illusions of who's in charge of your destiny. When you're waiting on corporate America to just keep writing you a check, meanwhile, they can't even balance their checkbook in the back room, so they just swoop in one Thursday and go 100 of you go home with no more heart than an armadillo has, which has a very small heart, by the way. And so, there you go. So, no, I do not want to be beholden to corporate America for anything if I can help it. If you want to, it's okay, but don't do it under the heading of security, because it's not secure.
Right, okay. That does make sense, and you're right.
And
actually.
You're a human, which means when you bring another human onto the planet in your early 20s, it scares the crap out of you, which means you're going to be a great dad.
All right.
Because you're actually a responsible guy. So what did you make before? How much money were you making?
So my base pay was $80,000, and bonuses were between 60 to like 120 a year.
Okay. You can go make that kind of money again, doing a lot of different things as sharp as you are, fairly quickly, if this processing thing goes belly up on you.
Okay.
Don't lose your entire everything holding on too tightly to the processing idea, but if you can get it out there and get it running and make a living doing it, keep it open and keep poking around the edges of it until you get enough contracts that get stable. Because, see, when you were working for that other company, you had one customer. If you had 10 customers, you'd be more stable.
Yeah, that's very true, actually.
Yeah.
That's actually a good way to look at that.
But with your work ethic, you can go anywhere in the financial industry, and I'm not worried about you producing an income if this self-employment doesn't work out.
Yeah, you'll be able to land something before your money runs out, and you're the kind of guy that'll go deliver pizzas at night if you had to, or do whatever until you landed the paying, quote, job again, job, career, whatever direction you're going there. But if I'm in your shoes, dude, I'm just going to, as an act of my will, not in a rash way or an unwise way, but I'm going to override my security gland here, my insecurity, because I have a brand new baby and I just got fired and I didn't see it coming and I didn't do anything wrong. And that's enough to scare anybody any age. But you're a young dude with a young family, and it kicks you in the kneecap emotionally, which just means that you're a guy that cares. You're a person of honor. You're a good husband. You're a good dad. You're going to be awesome.
Man, we need more sharp 22-year-olds like Garrett out there. It'd give me a lot of faith in the economy.
We have them. They're there. But obviously corporate America doesn't appreciate them. So there you go. But you can't pay the bill. You can't pay the bill, I guess, so you lay the people off. But
it's how some of the best businesses are started. Something like this goes, I'm going to do it on my own.
That's exactly right. Never again am I going to be put in a situation where I'm dependent on someone else to feed my family. I'm going to get up, leave the cave, kill something, and drag it home every day. And you're right. That's exactly how a lot of the EntreLeadership people that we meet with, they're sometimes what we call accidental entrepreneurs. They like find themselves unemployed. And they go, well, I've just been making this thing in the basement, so let's go make a bunch of them. And suddenly they're millionaires making a bunch of them.
They solved a problem, made some customers happy.
Didn't have an intention of being in business, but there they were, and found it to be much more secure and much more rewarding than working for corporate America.
That's the American spirit.
There we go. I love it. As long as there are garages, there will be small business, and as long as there is small business, there will always be capitalism. This is The Ramsey Show. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America, in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions, which, by the way, you can visit anytime you'd like and watch the show. We do a live show every afternoon from 1 to 4 Central Time. Regardless of when you guys hear it, that's when it actually occurs. And if you'd like to come by and watch the show, and we're often taping podcasts and so forth in the morning on the glass as well. The Dr. Deloney Show, the Ken Coleman Show, all of that. There's free cookies, free coffee, and it really smells like cookies in Mama's Kitchen in here. And there's a bookstore and a full visitor center. Come visit us anytime. We'd love to have you. There's usually 50 to 200 folks out here watching the show, and it's completely free. We'd love to have you and just come in and say hi. But on the debt-free stage right here in said lobby is Brad and Tamara. Hey, guys, how are you guys?
Hi, good.
How are you?
Better than I deserve. How much debt have you paid off?
A little over $100,000.
Good. How long did that take?
About 18 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
$109,000 at the beginning, and now we are at $151,000.
Good, good. What do you guys do for a living?
I'm a cardiovascular sonographer.
Mm-hmm.
And I work in the oil and gas, helping design gas plants.
Oh, wow. Good. Okay. Where do y'all live?
Bartlesville, Oklahoma.
Which is near?
Tulsa,
Oklahoma. Okay, yeah. Good, good. Well, welcome to Nashville, and congratulations.
Thank you.
What kind of debt was the $100,000?
A little bit of everything. So car payment, student loans.
Truck payment. Taxes.
Y'all were normal.
Right?
Yeah, normal sucks.
Yes.
Wasn't any fun. You're making a lot of money and all going back out to somebody else.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
What was the wake-up call 18 months ago? What jogged you?
Well, we shortly before that we got married, and my parents actually paid to have us go to Dave Ramsey, FPU, and we started it, and then about a couple months into it, we wound up, I lost my job.
Oh, my gosh.
And then she got furloughed the day after.
Oh, man.
All thanks to COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Happy marriage, huh?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then about 3 months later, I wound up getting a job back in the oil and gas industry. Mm-hmm. Was there for about 7 months and then got furloughed again. Went back to the place that I originally got let go from, and did contract work for about a year, and now I'm back there. They brought me back on full time. So,
wow.
It's been a full circle.
Yeah, been a wild ride there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I got to go back, though, to the beginning of the story. So we get married, and Brad's mom and dad buy a financial class. Mm-hmm. So Tamara, how thrilled were you with that idea?
Not at all. I'm definitely the free spirit.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to lie.
I love it. That wouldn't have gone well at my house.
No.
What did you think was the underlying reason they gifted this to you?
Just to be financially stable and to be successful.
But Tamara's like, I don't want to deal with all this. It's
I was like, I want to go spend my money.
Okay, so you're brand new married, and before you get laid off, you wander into this class. And Tamara, how long were you there before you went, I think I can actually do this?
It took me a little bit to get on board. I'm not going to lie.
That's okay.
Maybe
how many
a couple
classes?
of months, probably.
Okay. Oh, way down into the class then.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was there a moment? What was the thing that you went, all right, fine, I'm in?
Just knowing that I wouldn't have to have all of my paycheck go to somebody else. In that way.
Right.
So I want my kids to be raised in that way where they don't have to worry.
There you go. Start thinking about something big, like changing your family tree.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the noble motivations are the strongest motivations, by the way. You're right. That's exactly right. Very, very cool stuff. And Brad, you go in there, and I got a feeling if she's the free spirit, you're the nerd.
He's the nerd.
And so you're there for about 10 minutes, and you went, I see what Mom was doing.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
that's how I was.
Okay. All right. And it's hard to keep your mouth shut. About to get you in trouble.
Yes.
Yeah. That's classic, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
Wow.
All right. So what was the most important thing that you guys learned while you're going through Financial Peace University that enabled you to pay off $100,000 in 18 months? While being furloughed and then back to work and then being furloughed and then back to work and then contracting and then back to work and then, oh my gosh.
Just discipline and communication.
Yeah.
Just working together.
Yep.
Work together and to accomplish those goals.
Wow. So you guys haven't been married too long now. Has it changed your marriage?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
Yep.
It's more on the same page.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Definitely.
And I assume you had some cheerleaders in this process. Obviously, Brad's parents, huge cheerleaders. They're pumped.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and the kids were too, so.
And then the financial coaches that we had at City Church, Jason and Janet, we met with them. We still talk to them to this day, and they still encourage us to keep pushing forward. So,
yeah, they're walking around real proud right now that you're here doing your debt-free screen.
That's why they do this stuff.
I love it. That's so cool, y'all. Well done. Very well done. What was the hardest part for you?
Sticking to the budget.
Sticking to the budget.
What's your big temptation to get off budget?
Clothes.
That makes sense.
I'm not going to lie.
No, that's good. I'm in.
Yeah.
Rachel Cruz would completely agree with you.
It's
that
a
and
necessity.
eating out.
Eating out usually gets most people. That one, people don't realize in America how much we spend on that. I'm not against restaurants, but by the time you spend all that, you ought to own one. Oh my gosh! I mean, and it's about 80% of that check is for the experience, not the food. You can buy that much food for 20 cents on the dollar, cook it at home, and have a pretty good meal. Yeah. So wow. Well, way to go, you guys. Way to go. Are you glad you did all that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yep.
Will you ever go back in debt?
No.
Not even for clothes?
Not even for clothes.
Now it's time to save for a new house. So
there you go.
Awesome.
All right. You renting or you own one?
We own one right now.
But you need to move up a little.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because both of our kids are in one room right now.
Oh, yeah.
Sharing bunk beds, and we got to get a little bit bigger
It's a
house.
bonding experience.
Oh, yes.
That's good.
That needs to end.
Yes.
I like it. Well, way to go, you guys. We're very proud of you. Thank you for coming over here and sharing your story.
Thank you.
It's a great way to start out a brand new marriage and get things going. Way to go. Very, very well done. All right. And very cool. Very cool. We got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That is the next chapter in your story for sure. And a copy of the Total Money Makeover book to give away. And maybe you could be kind of like your mother-in-law and just stir up a ruckus with somebody. You know, you never know there. All right. Good stuff. All right. It's pretty cool. This is great. Brad and Tamara from Tulsa, Oklahoma. $100,000 paid off in 18 months, making 109 to 151. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free!
That is how it's done, boys and girls. I love it. So, yeah, that's a delicate gift for a mother-in-law to give to a new couple.
Yeah. Gifting FPU feels like it's an underhanded, backhanded
passive-aggressive
gift.
Passive-aggressive statement.
Hey,
question.
you're broke. This should help.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah.
But when you can accept that gift and actually do the stuff.
Dave, you're looking a little pudgy. Here's a book on dieting.
Exactly. That's exactly what it's like. That is the last gift I'm going to give you, Dave.
Pudgy. That's a word you don't hear much.
No. Bring it back.
That one, that's a word that should come back because it actually applies. So,
eating out. I realized, Dave, when I was getting out of debt, I was spending $700 on food. Look at me. Where do you even put $700 in food?
Where do you put $700? I mean,
that's the question. But it's amazing when you start paying attention to the stuff and you go, "Oh my gosh, what am I doing?" It's you're kind of disgusted with yourself when you look in the mirror.
But George has you have a real. I mean, you have a high palate on food. I mean, the fine dining experience.
That is true.
You're kind of known for the chef's tasting menu. And
well, me and Rachel call it bougie. That's what we are.
You don't do that on the job, do you?
No, absolutely not.
You don't do bougie on the job.
Well, you guys made us bougie. Here at Ramsey, there's charcuterie everywhere. I didn't even know what that word meant before I worked here.
Now it's everywhere.
Now it's how we live. It's a good life,
That's how we
man.
roll, baby.
It's a good life. Paid for in cash.
Free salami.
That's right. From Lunchables to charcuterie. That's the American dream. We made it, Mom. We made it.
Touchdown. This is the Ramsey Show. Ramsey personality is my co-host today here on The Ramsey Show. Thank you for joining us, America. 888-825-5225.
Dave, I gotta say, one of my favorite things, and you know this about me, it's a spiritual gift. I love to give away your money. It's my favorite type of generosity.
You're one of those greedy rich people.
I'm one of those, and that's why I'm excited to tell all of our listeners about our Ramsey Cash giveaway that we just launched today. $500 every single week we're giving away, and a grand prize of $3,000. It's amazing. Even with inflation, we're still giving away money.
All in the month of May. And, hey, if you think about all the things you could do with some extra cash, you could pay off debt, you could have a fun night out, you could finally start a side hustle, add it to your investments. There's a lot of good stuff. If you want to enter the giveaway, go to RamseySolutions.com/giveaway. You can enter every day for more chances to win. No purchase is necessary. You got to be 18. While you're there, you need to check out at the store the $10 book sale that's going on. We're putting a whole bunch of our number one best-selling books and tools in the Ramsey $10 sale. And that means the Total Money Makeover, which has now sold over 8 million copies, is on the bestseller list almost every week still. It's only $10. People buy them by the case. They buy Rachel's book by the case, Coleman's book by the case. Christy's book, Take Back Your Time, is $10. The Questions for Humans conversation cards, now only $10. That's the Dr. John Deloney product that we have sold
bajillions,
tens of thousands of them. It's just bizarre. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Appreciate you guys. $10. All the $10 sale stuff happening at RamseySolutions.com right now. While you're there, not for $10, you can pick up the brand new number one bestseller from Dr. John Deloney. We found out late last week it is a number one national bestseller on several of the lists. So thank you for that.
Awesome.
Own Your Past, Change Your Future, a not-so-complicated approach to relationships, mental health, and wellness. So all of that at RamseySolutions.com. Kent is in Tampa. Hi, Kent. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave and George. Thank you so much for having me.
Sure. What's up?
Basically, I'm looking for permission to pursue my dreams. I'm a stage manager in live entertainment, mostly working in cruise ships, theme parks, and regional theaters. But ultimately, I want to work on Broadway musicals and national tours. But obviously, to do that, I have to live in New York. And that would be a significant increase in living expenses. And I just wanted to see if there was sort of a benchmark that you would suggest hitting before making that jump. I'm 25 years old. I have no debt. I have a fully funded, actually an overfunded emergency fund. But moving to New York would basically take out all of the margin. I could make it work, but it would take out all of the margin, but it would also open up a lot more earning potential. So I just wanted to get your thoughts. I know it would be risky, but I just want to make sure it's not stupid. And I figured if anyone is going to be willing to tell me that it's stupid, it would be Dave Ramsey.
Well, Ken, you've done a great job so far. This is not the riskiest move you could make at 25 years old with no debt and an emergency fund that is overfunded. So you're going to be okay. This sounds like this is your dream. This is what you want to do. And so I'm making the move. Now, you want to do it with some wisdom. Can you line up a job there? Or is this one of those show up, do whatever it takes, work at a coffee shop, and try to make this dream happen?
It's closer to that. I have a pretty good network, so I feel like it would definitely, when something becomes available, I would have people that I could reach out to. But it's sort of a you have to be there in order to get the job kind of thing.
Mm.
Can you set your life up to where you'd be there in 20 minutes? I mean, you can get from Tampa to New York in an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Tampa to New York City?
Well,
Tampa,
I mean,
Florida?
you can jump on an airplane and get up there in a couple hours, okay? So
yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
It's not like you, I think you start working your network and you get something lined up, and if they want you to come up there and interview one day, fly up there and interview. And when you land the job, then make the move. I might stay in Tampa till keep my lifestyle costs way down, because your cost of living there is probably 70 cents on the dollar, or what it is in Manhattan.
Yeah, at least.
I mean, a rent is more than that, but the rest of the cost of living is probably 70 cents on the dollar. So, and if you could, and you've got work there that's not a coffee shop, right? I don't care. I'm with Georgia. Go do it if you want to go do it. The way to lower the risk one more time is to get a whole bunch of stuff almost dripping out of the end of the pipeline and then make the move then. Right now, it sounds like you're just going up there hoping you can fill the pipeline.
Yeah, I don't know if it would make a difference in what you would suggest, but a lot of the work that I do takes me out of town, and they provide housing and everything. So a lot of the work that I currently am doing, I could still continue to do in New York. It just wouldn't necessarily be jobs that are in New York, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. All right. So you could keep working while a lot of your current gigs while you look for the New York break.
Yes.
So the only difference here is just the relocation.
Precisely, yeah.
Definitely doing that. Head on, baby. Do it.
Great. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
And if you reach the point that you're going in debt to keep your dream alive and you're getting ready to turn your dream into a nightmare, move back.
Oh, for sure.
But, the trick is you've got the margin here, and you've learned how to look at this with a critical eye, which you already did before you called us. So I'm with George.
There's your permission.
Yeah. Well, number one, you don't need our permission. You're like a grown man and stuff. So, but there's your advice anyway.
Sometimes they need a little confirmation.
We don't give permission here. We just give advice, and then you give yourself permission because you're like grown-ups and things. So, but we'll think it through with you and see if you're missing something and. Or maybe make some additional suggestions that might be wrong or whatever, and then you still got to make your own decision.
Oh, yeah. But he sounds like he's doing it with some wisdom here.
Yeah, I like it. Go for it, baby. Go for it. Wide open, man. Chad's in San Diego. Hi, Chad. How are you?
Hi, doing very well. I just want to say, Grandpa Dave and good friend George, thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. How can we help?
So my father passed away, and passed away last week.
Oh, my gosh.
And he was in charge of our family business.
Oh, my gosh.
And also my family as well, of course. My family currently is okay, so I have a core crisis team taking care of them. God thankfully brought together a great team. So we're on a survival mode on family side and business side. Family should be okay to fight for another month, but our business currently, I believe we really need help on that side. For business, my question is there a survival mode type setting that I should focus on for our business to continue on?
How many team members?
Majority of it is our family, so I think about 12.
What kind of business?
I would say we do a lot of retail and servicing. That's how our business is kind of structured.
Retail and servicing of what?
I would say maybe home appliance type things.
Okay.
And then we have a lot of debt as well. But I'm trying to just focus on just survival mode. What should we focus on?
Okay, your dad's estate has a lot of debt. You don't have any debt.
Right.
The business debt was in his name, and his estate is what supports that debt. So if you guys can keep the business operating, you'll pay the business debt out of the business as a part of his estate, but you don't need to pay any of these payments.
Right.
Neither does your brother or your cousin.
Right.
Okay.
However, because my mom's name is on the business, how can I best help her or try to protect her?
Yeah. Well, you're gonna keep running the business and get the debt paid off, or you're gonna sell the business and pay the debt off. One of the two. That's what you're going to do. So this is a large and complicated question, more than I can probably help you adequately with in a 2-minute radio call like this. I'm so sorry for your loss, by the way. What happened to him?
Thank you so much. So I believe it was just his heart stopped, and we don't really have much details since it's still very new.
I'm sorry. Here's what we're going to do, brother. I'm going to put you on hold. Kelly's going to pick up. We're going to hook you up with one of our Entree Leadership business coaches. We've got business coaches in Entree Leadership, and one of them will help you walk through and help you analyze, A, how to keep it operating in crisis mode until you can make some management transitions, or B, until you can sell it, whichever you guys choose to do. It's still very, very fresh with him just being gone a week. I'm so sorry. This is The Ramsey Show. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about building wealth, doing work that you love, creating amazing high-quality relationships. This is The Ramsey Show. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Deb starts off this hour in Des Moines, Iowa. Hi, Deb. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Yes, this is Deb. My husband and I were basic followers of the Dave Ramsey way. We always had one difference. He kept wanting in his 40s and 50s to sock money away for retirement. I wanted to pay the mortgage off. Our mortgage was at a very low rate. So he thought we'd be better off paying the mortgage and earning that retirement money, getting it in those IRAs and stuff at a higher interest rate. So my one concession was, okay, before you retire then, at age 60, and he retired at 62, we're going to pay off that home mortgage, which we did. So he retired at 62. We're, everyday millionaires. I'm going to retire this year at 63. My 40-year-old son is getting married for the first time. I told him and his fiancée my one regret was we did not pay off our mortgage sooner. And my son's coming back at me with that same argument. Mom, why would I pay off the mortgage when I have a low interest rate if I can make more money putting the money into investment? So, Dave, what can I tell him?
It's going to be hard to convince him against his will. I mean, you can give him some tools, resources. Does he know about the Ramsey plan?
Basically, he does. And beyond his home mortgage, he has no other debt.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we hear this argument a lot, and it looks good on paper, but we found that when you actually do this stuff and when you survey all these millionaires with paid-for homes, none of them are going, you know what, I kind of miss my mortgage. I want to go back into debt. And when he frees up that mortgage payment, guess what he can do now? Invest way more than he was.
So
and that's what I've been trying. Okay.
Does your husband think that he is now an everyday baby steps millionaire because he didn't pay off the house and invested the money? Does he think that's how he became a millionaire?
That is a good question. I've never asked him.
Yeah. Because I think he would tell you that's not how he became a millionaire. The way he became a millionaire was he steadily invested and he controlled his expenses, and that enabled him to not only become a millionaire but also pay off the house, which added to the process. So the answer to the question is, number one, you're not going to tell a 40-year-old anything. You know, he's going to do whatever he wants to do. So George is right. My grandmother's saying applies. Those convinced against their will are of the same opinion still. If he actually does want to engage a conversation, which it doesn't sound like he does, it sounds like you do. But if he does...
Except his girlfriend or his fiancée agreed. She kind of took my side.
She did.
So...
Okay, so we're having a good, healthy, fun family argument like the Ramseys do every meal. Okay.
Yeah, I probably do.
We all argue with Rachel about her conspiracy theories at every meal. So, okay. All right. So, you got to have some fun, right? So,
exactly.
Well, the answer to the question, or the answer to the argument is several-fold. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I have approached it in my life from about 3 or 4 different angles, and every one of those angles has led me to pay off the house. The first angle I approached it from, once I went broke with borrowed money on real estate, I was a baby Christian, and I couldn't find anything in the Bible that said anything good about debt. You're a fool, you're a slave, it's unwise. It's not a salvation issue spiritually, and it's not a... It's certainly not even a sin biblically, but every mention of debt in the Bible is negative. So as a person of faith, I had to say, okay, my Heavenly Father says this is a dumb idea. Biblically speaking, debt is stupid. Okay, why would he say that? Because he loves me. If the best way to become wealthy is to borrow on your house and then take that money and invest it in the stock market. Okay, so that first step is I entered it through that argument. Then the next argument I entered into was this idea of risk. Debt equals risk. I think we can all agree to that. More debt equals more risk. Less debt equals less risk. No debt equals virtually no risk. And so, and you can tell that by when you say, okay, if borrowing against your house at 3% or 5% and investing it in the market in a mutual fund at a 10% rate of return, 12% rate of return, whatever, I'm making that spread. If that is an accurate mathematical formula, why would you not borrow $300,000 on a $100,000 house? You would borrow all you can up to your eyeballs if you're always going to make a 7 or an 8% spread, right?
Right.
But when you ask somebody, well, why don't you borrow $2 million that way then, that puts them in freak-out mode, because when you put the absurd on the table,
no way,
it makes your emotions kick in, and your emotions are where you experience risk, not in your intellect. So your heart is where you feel risk, your head is where you do math. And so your heart your heart starts beating like, oh God, no. Well, that's because now suddenly you're equating risk with debt. And in his discussion, he's got the debt small enough in his mind that he doesn't equate it to risk. Follow me?
Right.
So all of that to say that in sophisticated financial circles, which your son doesn't run in, we actually are taught to adjust a risky investment with an unrisky investment, or a low-risk investment with a high-risk investment. There's actually a mathematical process for adjusting those two for risk to where you can compare them apples to apples. So the high-risk investment, after adjusted for risk, the rate of return would come down. The low-risk investment, after adjusted for risk, would come up, and then you could compare them apples to apples. And there's a statistical measure of risk called a beta, which is the measure of the hill and the valley and the frequency of the hill and the valley, and when you put it on a chart, that measures risk. If you entered that and you actually used a real math formula for your son's naive math formula that's incorrect, then you said, okay, we're taking on more risks, so we can't really count the entire spread from the mortgage rate up to the market rate as spread, because we have to adjust for risk. And when we adjust for risk, it neutralizes the benefit of the borrowed money. There's your academic answer. I gave you a spiritual answer, academic answer. Okay?
Yep.
Now let me give you one more. The borrower is slave to the lender. So that must mean slaves think differently. They have different relationships because they're not in control of their lives. They keep a job they wouldn't keep otherwise. I can't quit this job. I have a house payment. I can't tell the boss to take this job and shove it in a toxic, low-integrity situation. I have to keep the job because I have a house payment. So you keep a bad job with a bad boss until it ends up caving in on your head and you end up making less in your life because you're forced into stuff like slaves are. You make more money, you have better relationships, you take less risk, and you make money faster if you don't have a mortgage. Your son is so wrong, it's unbelievable. This is The Ramsey Show. Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information. George Camel Ramsey Personality is my co-host today. You hear me say all the time that everyone needs a will, and it's true. It's a basic adult responsibility. There's just no good excuse not to have one. You've also heard us recommend an online will as the fastest, most cost-effective way to get your will taken care of. But I get a lot of questions about a simple online will. Is that right for everyone's specific situation? I get that. What if you need a trust, or you need a mirror will, or what kind of powers of attorney do you need? With those questions in mind, our team built a quiz to help you find the right option. Do you need a mamabearlegalforms.com well online, or do you need an attorney? We'll tell you. We don't mind telling you. We want you to get the right thing in your situation. After taking this quick, easy, free quiz, we'll direct you to the way you need to go. But either way, you're going to end up with a will at the end of this story, okay? Take the quiz to figure out what kind of will you need. Go to RamseySolutions.com/Will's Quiz. Will's Quiz. And that's not with an apostrophe because Will didn't do the quiz. But it's a Will's Quiz to check it out for yourself. RamseySolutions.com/Will's Quiz. Our question today comes from Blinds.com. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. That means even if you mismeasure, you pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. You'll get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best possible deal.
Today's question comes from Debbie in Los Angeles. She said, my husband and I have $230,000 in our 401k. We switched to a money market plan about 7 years ago because we're both in our mid-50s.
Good Lord.
The CFO at his work is now trying to convince him to go back into mutual funds. He went as far as to tell him that we missed out on $59,000 in 2021.
He's right.
I'm not buying it.
You're
we
wrong.
lost almost all of our 401k in 2008 with this man telling us it would go back up and to stop watching it. I don't want to ever watch that train wreck again. Why would the CFO be pushing for us to risk our retirement fund? Oh, boy. Where to start with Debbie? Sweet Debbie.
Sweet Debbie.
Little Debbie.
Little Debbie.
All right, well.
Little Debbie's got a cake. Yeah.
I'm with the CFO on this one. I think he's trying to help you retire with dignity and not lose out big because you jumped off the roller coaster mid-ride. And clearly, they're spooked Dave from 2008, which is understandable. But to be in a money market account, which means it's just sitting in cash for 7 years, losing against inflation, making 0%, that's a bad plan if you want to retire, ever.
All right, Debbie. You can't win at investing being Drama Debbie. And you're being Drama Debbie. You did not lose your entire 401k in 2008. The stock market did not go to zero. It went in half. And so, if you had $400,000 at the beginning and you moved it to money markets at the very bottom, which makes you the world's worst timing, then you've got $230,000, so that means you lost half of your money. You can't say, we lost almost all. No, you did not. Not if you were in a mutual fund. It's actually mathematically impossible that you would have lost almost all of it. There is not a group of mutual funds that suck that bad. That it went down 90% while the market went down 50%. The Dow went from 13,000 to 6,500. I know, I was there. My investments did the exact same thing. I was here on the radio sounding just exactly like your CFO. Don't jump off the train. No one gets hurt except those that jump off in the middle of a roller coaster. Ride the ride to the end. Now, if you had not jumped off the train at the bottom, you would not have lost half of your money, because in just a few months, the Dow was back to where it was pre-2008. Oh, and by the way, it was at 13,000. Then it went to 6,500. You know it's over 30,000 today, Debbie. And so you would have had not 200,000, you would have had 1.2 million right now. If you had 230,000 at the bottom in 2008 and you had left it in there, you'd have 1.2 million right now. You didn't lose 59,000, Debbie. You lost $1 million.
Ouch. You're being a Debbie Downer, Dave. I want you to know that.
I'm downing Debbie. That's me. Debbie, we're just having some fun here. We're picking on you. But anyway.
That's the math. I mean, it's true.
That's exactly.
People are scared to invest.
I don't know, with this man telling us it would go back up and to stop watching it. Well,
I don't think he has any ulterior motives.
It went back up, Debbie.
The CFO is not making money from you being in a mutual fund.
Or in the 401k. CFOs don't get commissions on 401ks. None whatsoever. He's just trying to help. And the way that he's trying to give you the essence and the nuances of the market. And so, and then the market's back down. It's trashed right now. It's horrible right this second. And, I mean, everybody's employed and nobody's making money in the stock market. Biden could screw up Christmas, but but doesn't matter. You know what I'm doing this month? I'm not taking it out.
It's on sale, Debbie. Now's the time.
Ukraine. Elon Musk is buying the world. What else is going wrong with the world? Oh, inflation.
Oh, that's right. Gas, housing market, you name it.
President can't string a sentence together. I mean, these are the things that are happening out there. And so the stock market's going, I'm so scared, and it's going down, right? So you know what I'm doing? Investing. You know what I do when it goes up? I invest. You know what I do when it goes down? I invest. Why? Because the worst movement in the stock market's history other than the Great Depression was 2008. And Debbie, apparently, if I'm reading this right, you managed to take your money out at the exact worst time. I mean, you really hit it amazingly bad. So you panicked at exactly the wrong time. You should have panicked earlier or later or something. But, oh, my gosh.
What's the quote? It's not about timing the market. It's time in the market. It's consistency.
Yeah, exactly.
Just leave it alone. So keep investing.
Yeah, you lost out on $59,000 in 2021, but you probably lost close to $1 million if you took this out at the bottom of the crash after '08 and moved it to money markets and have made no money on it since. Meanwhile, my money's gone up 5x since the bottom of the 2008 crash. Really, almost 6x technically. The Dow's down a little bit right now, but it was up to 38,000, which would have been 6x.
Oh yeah.
So, so that's why, Debbie. That's why. Because you're not really risking your retirement fund if you quit taking it out at the bottom.
You're risking not being able to retire.
Yeah.
When you got $200,000 at retirement.
Yeah. Look at this. Okay, here's another thing. This is for everybody. We're using Debbie as an example, bless her heart, but you walked into it, Debbie. So if the analysis I gave you is exactly half wrong, in my case, I'm off by 50% in the little math formula I just did on the air, okay? Which I'm not, but let's just say I'm off by that much. And you didn't have $1.2 million. I'm off by 50%, you'd have $600,000. It's still almost 3 times more than you've got today. So your CFO would have had to been drastically wrong. Like wrong by thousands of percent for you to end up with less than you do now.
Yeah.
That's why he would be pushing for you to risk your retirement fund. You are perceiving more risk with your emotions than is actually mathematically there. That's what we're saying.
That's the summary. And if I'm Debbie, I'm sitting down with a SmartVestor Pro to educate myself on what would have happened if I left my money there. Ride the ride, educate myself on what I'm actually investing in so I can make that decision. Right now, she needs that kind of coach. She's freaked out.
Yeah, and George, that thing we were talking about the other day, there is a mutual fund that opened in 1934.
Mm-hmm.
It has averaged, since 1934, 12.25% interest, or rate of return. The number of years, 87 years it's been open, the number of times it's been down, 16.
Wow.
16 years out of 87 it was down. The other 71 years it was up. So that's the type of thing that should be in your mutual funds, in your 401k, and that's even safer than the market.
Yeah. You got to have a long-term mindset.
This is The Ramsey Show. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Tony and Brandy are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hey, doing well.
Good. How you doing?
Better than I deserve. Welcome. So good to have you guys.
Thank you.
So how much debt have you two paid off?
$34,000.
All right. How long did this take?
About 5 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
150.
Wow, good. What do y'all do for a living?
I'm a UPS driver.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a nurse. So I work in outpatient surgery.
Cool. What kind of debt was your $34,000?
My student loans.
Yay! How long? I'm sorry. And let's see here. So where do you guys live?
We're from Wilmington, North Carolina.
Oh, yeah. Fun. Okay, cool. So what starts this journey 5 months ago? What happened?
Well, it really started like 3 years ago. My organization offered Smart Dollar.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm the free spirit. So I was like, well, I'll look at it. I don't know anything about financial stuff anyways. And then I was like, I'll tell Tony about it. And I got into the first video where it was saying, like, sell all your stuff and gazelle intensity. And I was like, that's not going to work for me, but I'll tell Tony anyways, and we'll just see. So I was like, have you ever heard about this guy? And he was like, oh, yeah, I know Dave Ramsey. Yeah. And I was like, well, I mean, he has a lot of point, but it sounds like it's more for, like, the destitute, which we are not. But we went ahead and listed all of our debts out, and we paid off a right good bit. So I think altogether we've paid about $71,000 off in the last 3 years, but then 5 months ago he's the one that really got intense about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just felt like we were making that type of money and just kind of never getting ahead. You'd have money and then something would come up and it was gone. And I think the biggest thing is we hadn't combined our finances. And once we combined our finances, it was just a complete game changer. We were on the same page and we started making moves together. And instead of, saving up $4,000 and then spending $3,000, we just went through this whole process and, $34,000 in 5 months. It was incredible.
Boom. Just like that.
How long you been married?
9 years.
Okay.
And in 9 years, you just combined finances when you started this journey 5 months ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Wow.
We had 2 separate checking accounts, 2 separate savings accounts, and 1 joint checking account that we put all of our bills in. And then based on our income, Tony put in a bigger percentage than me because he makes more than me.
Mm-hmm.
And then we all just kind of, I just spend all my money because I don't ever save anything hardly until now. And he saved it all. So if something came up and he would have to pay for it, he would be resentful because he's like, I've saved up all this money. And then I would be like, you also make more money. So it was always a fight back and forth. And since we combined everything.
And now we have an account.
Yeah.
And now we have an income.
Yeah.
And now we have savings and we do spending.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so I certainly have a theory about this, but I'm curious, why do you think the combining accounts caused such an increase in efficiency and lowered the resentment you said?
Well, I mean, I think that it just puts you on the same page. So instead of working in different directions, you're working in one solid direction. I think just everything just seems to fit that way. When you're doing things separately, you're, I'm buying something, she's buying something, and you never know what one side's doing and the other side's doing. So you're just never on the same page that way. But also, I mean, I think it just helps your marriage and helps you become a stronger grouping instead of just 2 individuals running through life together.
So, Brandy, you would have been the one most resistant to that because you just kind of had it made. I mean, you spent your whole check, right? So, why give that up, right? I mean, so what would you say the benefits are now that you guys combined them from your perspective?
Well, I think it was now both of our money, so I wasn't feeling like I was getting like nickel. We used to joke and I would say, man, you've been nickel and diming me since we were dating. Like we always split it. It was 50-50, 100%, 50-50 the whole time out of my account and his account. And so then it wasn't like we weren't like, oh, I paid for this, you owe me this. It was just like, okay, well, we got to pay for this and this is what we're doing. And since I'm a nurse and I'm really love to chart, so every dollar app, it was like real fun to like chart everything. And it was really, I didn't realize how much money like we actually had left over after we budgeted.
And you get to do spending because you got a vote, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not like you're living on beans and rice or something. You didn't have to do that.
No.
You just knock this out. I mean, you make a lot of money, so you just popped it in the head, right? Just reach over. Now, I like that charting thing with the every dollar.
Of course, a nurse would mention it's like charting. I like that. I've never heard that analogy, but it's perfect.
Yeah, budgeting is like charting.
Yeah.
I like that.
I love this story, though, because we get this all the time. People go, well, Dave, I'm not going to combine finances. Guy got, for 1,000 reasons. Trust issues, fear, selfishness, financial infidelity. But when you guys combined this, there was an accountability there. There was a connection that could not be broken. And it obviously caused you guys to win financially.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
Awesome. Man.
Yeah, we actually had planned for us to pay that $34,000 off by this April, but we paid it off in November. So now we're 4, 5, and 6. So we already got our emergency fund, and now we're on to 4, 5, and 6 now. So we finished it like 7 months early, and
look at the spender all up in the knowledge.
I know. I'm very
impressed. She knows
impressed.
exactly where she is. I love this.
Charting the budget.
Yeah.
She's got her spending under control.
Yeah.
And shout out to your employer for having Smart Dollar as a benefit.
Very cool.
For those that don't know, that is our financial wellness program that we offer to businesses, organizations to help their employees get control of their money. So, very cool.
employee benefit program that teaches our class, is what it amounts to. And so, very cool. Yeah, and
Cool to see the
the
impact.
husband or the spouse could actually get involved, and then it turns, oh my gosh, then it goes, wow.
Yeah, we encourage that.
Yeah,
That's
be
awesome.
careful. Be careful if you get Tony involved, because it'll get implemented. That's right. Well done, you guys. You're fun. It's good to talk to you. You got a real healthy outlook on this whole thing. You're real comfortable in your own skin to talk about it, and that's a that's a positive for everybody listening. And so, it sounds like you were doing fine. You could just do better. And now you did better, and now you're free. How's it feel to have zero debt? Did you notice a change?
Yeah, no, it's like the tension in your shoulders just drops. You're like, you don't know anybody. Now it's time to go tackle the house and start moving in that direction. And in our mid 40s, we could have no debt, period, house and everything. So.
And Brandy, you said that was student loans from you.
Yes.
So how does that feel for that all to be gone? Did you notice something when it left, or you just kind of course of business? Okay, check.
Well, I mean, I was happy. I don't get like super really like worked up about stuff. I guess that's the nurse in me too.
Stay calm.
Yeah, but I was like, man, we paid it off. That's great. It was actually from my undergrad. When I got my bachelor's, I paid my job paid for it, and now I'm getting my doctorate, and we're actually cash flowing that too. So we're paying for my doctorate and paying all of the debt off and doing all the other stuff. So
good for
awesome.
you. Good for you. Good for you. Well done, you guys. You're a power couple. That's awesome stuff. Now, you bring the kiddo with you to do a debt-free scream? How old is he, and what's his name?
He's 5. This is Reed.
Reed. Has Reed been involved in all this? You know what's going on?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he listens to the Ramsey Show quite a lot with us in
Oh,
the
I'm
car.
sorry, Reed.
So.
We should get you some good music.
That's a
to listen
scarred
to.
childhood right there.
Well, we got a copy of the Baby Steps Millionaires book for you. That's definitely the next chapter in your story, as well as a Total Money Makeover book for you to give away to someone and stir up a holy ruckus with that thing somewhere. Tell them what you did. I'm proud of you guys. Well done. Very well done. You're a great couple. Tony and Brandy and Reed from North Carolina, $34,000 paid off, due mainly to combining their accounts and their goals and their values. Did it in 5 months, making $150. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free!
Yeah! Look at Reed. He stepped up.
in it, man.
Yeah, go Reed.
He understood the assignment. Way to go, buddy.
That's awesome.
Oh, man.
Woo!
It's amazing how people can share a bed, share DNA, share a child, but they won't share a bank account, Dave. That's just too personal. Wow. I love a story like that.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Way to go, Smart Dollar team. Good work.
Yes.
This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, 1 Thessalonians 5, 16 and 18. Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. G.K. Chesterton said, I would maintain that thanks are the highest form of thought, and that gratitude is happiness doubled by wonder. Ooh, that's good. I like that. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Ashley is with us in Dallas. Hi, Ashley. How are you?
Hi, I'm okay. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up, kiddo?
Good. Thank you. I am calling. I'm going to try to keep this as clear as I can. I'm in a bit of a complicated situation. But I just found out that about 3 weeks ago,
that I am expecting a child.
Yay!
This would be my first. Thank you. However, it is the person that that would be the father would be my ex-husband, and I'm not sure at this moment if he will be around. It's he's being very unclear about that.
Well, apparently he was around recently.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. But I mean, he says that I'm not getting that he's opposed to it. He says he's okay with it. At the same time, he's not really talking to me.
How old are you two?
I'm just confused. I am 34. He is 42.
Does he have a job?
Does he have a job? Yes.
Do you have other children from the marriage?
No.
Okay.
Right. No.
How long have you been divorced?
Have any kids. About 3.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how much do you make a year, honey?
Me, well, I have a disability, so I'm doing like maybe $17,000 before taxes a year because I can't really work too much.
What is the nature of your disability?
So I have multiple sclerosis, so I have some mobility issues and vision a little bit. Just kind of a myriad of things.
Mm-hmm. You got family in the area?
I have my adopted mom. She's kind of close-ish. She's about an hour away from me. So that's all I really have in that regard. But I'm just kind of lost because I don't know how to prepare for this financially. I understand I'm going to probably need to change some things living situation-wise because I live in a very small apartment that's only 324 square feet. I have a very small car. It's like a smart car. And I just got told it probably will need a new engine. So I'm going to have to replace that. And I just don't know how I'm going to do all of this financial-wise, especially with the rent being like it is and the car prices being the way that they are. I just don't know how I'm going to do this and prepare for this child financially, especially if I may have to do it alone. Okay. So, and I don't really know exactly yet, but I'm trying to plan.
There's so much going on here. I'm so sorry. That's a scary situation you find yourself in. Okay, so what I would tell my best friend, if they called and told me the exact thing you told me, is I would tell them that you need to get people in your corner as much as possible. That's why I was asking about friend or family. I would definitely start working on the career side of your equation. Find something that you're able to do that makes a lot more money that is within the tolerance of your MS. MS is, as I understand it, is aggravated by stress, so you can't be in a high stress scenario, but you're getting ready to be in a stressful financial situation if you don't create some more income. So you're going to have to create some more income. I would do you belong to, or have you visited, or are you aware of a local church in your area that you respect?
Well, I've been going to a church online.
Which one?
It's not really in my area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's in Oklahoma. But I know of one that's in the area that I can, get connected with.
Yeah. I want you to get connected so you've got emotional support, and when they know what you're going through, maybe even some financial support temporarily while you get your income up and you make a transition to different living and different vehicle. But don't do any of it with debt, because that's going to bring you down further. We got to get your income up and make these moves.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you're going to have some people around you that are walking with you and are supporting you. Emotionally, financially, relationally, everything, because you're kind of by yourself out here on a limb and you're scared.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what I feel right now. I feel like I was, I'm almost basically out of debt.
Mm-hmm.
I only have like $150 left on a medical loan. My student loan was discharged, so that's another thing that is kind of hindering me on the income side. But
that's good. Well, it can still be discharged. You've been declared permanently disabled. The student loan is gone. It doesn't come back. If you go get a job, it doesn't come back. And so you've got the rest of your life to live and create an income, and $17,000 isn't a good life. So we need to work on this income side of the equation long term for you and for the baby. Lastly, while you're at that church, ask the folks there if there is an attorney there that could give you some advice. I'm not an expert on the law in Texas, but in most states, your ex-husband is going to be responsible for child support, whether he wants to be involved or not, legally. In most states, a percentage of his income will go to raise the child that he caused to come into the world. And I don't really care whether he likes it or not. I'm not really taking a poll here of his feelings. I'm worried about one thing, and that's the child.
Yeah. No, thank you. I appreciate that, because I was like, I don't know what my rights are since, this is new, and
I'm not sure what your rights are either, but I suspect you're due child support. That's my suspicion.
Yeah.
And so I would, and I think you're probably going to have to get someone to help you, at least coach you a little bit on the legal side, so you can have this discussion with him and he can do this voluntarily, or we'll have a judge instruct him to do it, whichever he prefers.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope that we can work that out. But no, thank you.
Yeah, and I think you. But here's what I think I'm saying. I think if you have some family support, some community and church support, and some money coming from the father, and you start to adjust your income and your living situation and your car situation, by the time you make all those adjustments, this is all going to be okay. But you're going to need all of those things bringing to bear on the problem.
Yeah. I'm so sorry you're going through this, Ashley. Let us know if we can help down the line as you sort through this and figure out what the next steps are. But that's a real tough thing to be walking through, and you've got to have those people in your corner. So I love the idea of you plugging into a local church.
Yeah. So hang on, Kelly will pick up, and we're going to get you signed up for Financial Peace University online so you can go through the class and get in the Every Dollar app. That'll help you manage the money as you increase your income from child support and from a changed career. You'll be able to manage that because your income is getting ready to double or triple by the time we finish with all these things here. Should anyway. And so we got to get you to 34, maybe to 45,000 by the time all the smoke clears on this. And you've also got to investigate, what your medical insurance situation is for the labor and delivery, and start preparing for that as well. But we'll walk with you. We're here in your corner. If you get scared and you need some more help, you call us anytime, hon. Wow.
It's heartbreaking.
George, good show today. Good show, George, and James and Ben and Kelly in the booth. Kelly celebrating 10 years with Ramsey today. And it's our 10-year Ramsey-versary. Yeah, good stuff. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Do you love a good Dave Rant? Want to see the latest Ramsey Show videos going viral? Check out your favorite moments from The Ramsey Show on YouTube. Go watch and subscribe to The Ramsey Show channel on YouTube.